I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome here to the Atlanta Super Speedway as we get ready to cap off what's already been an incredible weekend of All-Star Racing. It's the All-Star Race for Season 7 Duracell Next Gen Cup Series. 30 drivers ready to take the green flag here this evening for 70 laps. Earlier on this afternoon, we ended up having the All-Star Open. 3 drivers transferred their way in. The race winner, Cody Lamas, Austin LaPlante, who finished second, Anthony McCurry, who finished third. They will start shotgun on the field. The rest of the field was done based off of random draw qualifying. And so Destin Bolin, he drew the long straw, and he'll be the one to start on the inside of the front row. Destin Bolin, 3-time winner last season. His win from the track we're going to next week, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, being what locked him into this All-Star Race event. Alongside of him, Dylan Poteet, who ended up winning this year at the Darlington Race Race just a couple of weeks ago to lock himself into the All-Star Race. Of course, the criteria for being in the All-Star Race, outside of our 3 transferees from the All-Star Open, was you need to win a race after last year's All-Star Race and prior to this year's All-Star Race, also be a former All-Star Race winner. We have 3 of those in the field here today. Jose Mills, who won the All-Star Race back in Season 2, Cole Deaver, who won the All-Star Race in Season 5, and Charles Sanford, who is the defending winner of the All-Star Race, also the defending champion of the series. The other 3 All-Star Race winners would have been Jordan Lopez, a former champion. He won in Season 1. Season, I believe it was 3? No. Season 4 was Carter Friesen, and Season 3 was Trey Wright. So 3 of the victories here at the All-Star Race have been won out of the Blue Oval Automotive stables, and we've got a couple of entries for them in the field today. 2 of them have been won out of S3 Motorsports, and we've got, I believe, all 4 of the S3 Motorsports cars in this All-Star Race. So will we end up seeing the organizations that have the most All-Star Race wins continue to add to their resume? We'll have to wait and see, but we have a lot to go over here. Once these drivers go green, we obviously have a little bit of a template of what to expect from the All-Star Open earlier on this afternoon. But we're going to get to all that in just a few moments because it's time to go All-Star Racing here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And we're going to go down trackside now for those most famous words in motorsports and get this thing started.
Drivers, start your engines!
Just like when we talked about the transporter. At the end of pit road, the last pit box is a timing line. So the last white line on pit exit is the line. Big thumbs up, my friend. Have a good time.
Right side of your screen, you'll see the official starting lineup for today's All-Star Race event. Drivers made their way into this All-Star Race via victories between this All-Star Race and last year's All-Star Race. And of course, we saw last year, don't know if this has any weight on this season, but last year, the driver that went on to win the All-Star Race eventually then went on to win the championship. We've had 2 now former champions win the All-Star Race, Jordan Lopez and Charles Sanford. So But that being said, I don't know how much emphasis the drivers put on I absolutely have to win this All-Star race, but it's a little food for thought. Our 3 transferee drivers, LaPlante, Lamas, and McCrory, would have gotten 40 extra laps of track time here, participating in the All-Star Open. But you can bet the other 27 drivers here, they definitely kept eyes on what went down in that 40-lap event, took some notes. We'll see if they're able to apply it here in the 70-lap feature. Green flag in the air. Dustin Bolin gets the All-Star race underway. Pretty good restart for both drivers there. Pretty dead even. Now the inside line advantage will take over for Dustin Bolin as he'll look to clear off of turn number 2. There you see that outside line get the run through 3 and 4. Laura Chung trying to take the runner-up spot from Dylan Poteet, but just too much speed up there against that outside wall. Poteet moves into second. Nick Gunther will now move into third, and then right behind him is going to be Kyle Matthews and Caleb Fogler. Those two ended up winning a championship together back in Season 5 for S3 Motorsports. Now Matthews still with S3, but Caleb Fogler over with Blue Oval Automotive. Both with theme park sponsored race cars too, kind of ironic there. Kings Island Chevrolet and the Busch Gardens Ford Mustang. As Matthew tried the inside there against Nick Gunther through 1 and 2. Did not work. Fogler's going to swing around him, and Matthews going to fall outside of the top 5. Now Fogler tries the bottom on Nick Gunther. Quentin Moore looks to catch him out. Up on that outside line. RJ Bishop right there as well. And the Kroger Ford GT500. This is the best battle up towards the front for 4th place. Moore on the top side, Fogler on the bottom. Quentin Moore will take the spot there. Around the outside, moving into the 4th position, Kyle Matthews looking to battle back up into the top 5 again. He jumps up to the top on Caleb Fogler, and he'll take the 5th position off of turn number 4. Ooh, RJ Bishop. I don't know if he just checked up right there for Caleb Fogler, but he lost some speed right through the first crook of that D-shaped front straightaway. Lost a ton of momentum. He'll tuck in behind Laura Chung, which would be in the 8th position right now. Last year, Dustin Bolin had 3 victories as a rookie. 2 of them took place in the first half of the regular season. Then he won right after the All-Star break in the Coke 600 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, which will be at next week. Longest race of the season. Dustin also made his way into the playoffs, competed for the championship. This season, he's been consistent. He's been hovering up around inside the top 10 in the overall points, but still looking for that first victory of Season 7. A win in the All-Star race could springboard him potentially towards something like that, as Dylan Poteet, big run down the front straightaway. Poteet having a career year as well, also up inside the top 10 points, going into Charlotte next week with maybe a mathematical chance of taking over the points lead. Of course, locked himself into this All-Star race a couple of weeks ago with a victory at the track too tough to tame, Darlington. A track that a lot of drivers want to check off their bucket list of taking a checkered flag at. His teammate Nick Gunther going to look to his inside, though, for 2nd place. Of course, remember, Fortnite Squad Racing is split with 2 Chevrolet drivers and 2 Mazda drivers. Nick Gunther and Anthony McCurry on the Mazda side, as Gunther lost a spot there to Quentin Moore. Moore moves up to 3rd. Nick Gunther was a 4-time winner last year, 3 wins during the second half of last year's regular season, locking him into this All-Star race, including back-to-back wins at Charlotte Roval and Kentucky, and then also winning the regular season finale at the Auto Club Speedway. That eventually would, that win would actually propel Nick Gunther to winning the regular season championship as well. Quentin Moore, it has been a tough Season 7 for that driver. 2nd full-time year out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports. Last year, of course, winning a coast-to-coast pole-to-win race at Dover for his first career win. This year, he's still looking for his first top 10 on the season. The All-Star race has many different scenarios for many different drivers. For a lot of them, they're looking to win the race just because it's a race that they want to win. You know, it's not necessarily a crown jewel race like Charlotte or Darlington or Indy or Daytona, but it is a race that a driver wants to win just for bragging rights. On the other hand, you look at a team like the 89, and this is an opportunity to be able to use the halfway point to get the season turned around. I know it's been a tough first 13 races for teams like Quentin Moore or Joshua Osborne. We've seen Jessica Shelton, obviously, with the win last week. Looks like that team might be starting to turn things around. Kyle Matthews, they've been struggling down there in points. There's a lot of teams that we're used to seeing up in the top 10 going to victory lane that just they're not finding that kind of luck here in the first half of the regular season. Well, now is an opportunity during the All-Star break. There's no points on the line. You can go out there, you can have some fun, you can take a chance to reevaluate, figure out what we did wrong in the first half of the regular season, try and remedy that in the second half of the regular season, and make a push for a playoff spot. There's nobody in the point standings right now that is mathematically ineligible from having any kind of scenario to make their way into the postseason. That is for the full-time drivers. So we'll see if anybody is going to be able to take this little period of rest and be able to utilize it to get their season turned around. And a driver that first half of the regular season we look at and say there's no way, absolutely no way that they're going to be a championship competitor. They might be able to prove us wrong. I'm going to be very curious about the 94 team. Jessica Shelton pulled off that incredible fuel strategy play at Chicagoland last week. Took even me by surprise. Didn't even see that the 94 had won the race until after the race was over. Maybe, just maybe, that is going to be the turning point for that Project Dodge Intrepid. And I love the story about that too. Shelton's actually, I believe, running up here inside of the top 15. Yeah, there she is, battling with Daniel Voiles. Trying to swing around for 16th place, I believe. You know, last year we ended up having it be the Project Mazda out of Fortnite Squad Racing. We saw what Nick Gunther was able to do with that, going to victory lane 4 times, winning the regular season championship, and of course locking himself up a playoff spot. You know, we were kind of wondering would we see the same thing here with the Dodge Intrepid out of S3 Motorsports. S3 has fielded nothing but Chevrolets in its Duracell Cup Series history, so it was a little unorthodox for them to be having an anti-bow tie manufacturer. But Jessica Shelton finally getting that first win for Dodge Intrepid last week. We may end up seeing something, kind of a deja vu of what we saw out of Nick Gunther last season, this season with Jessica Shelton. Austin LaPlante making a move around her. I believe LaPlante is the highest running of the transfer drivers currently. Cody Lamas is back in the 27th position. Anthony McCurry right now in 24th. LaPlante bypassing Shelton to move up to 17th place. Another thing that the 3 transfer drivers have an advantage of on the rest of the field is the fact that they've already tested pit road and green flag pit stops. They know what to expect. The other drivers maybe not as much. They could utilize that to their advantage. We saw pit road allow drivers to be able to pick up track position in the All-Star Open. RJ Bishop, Will Goss, Dylan Young, all right around each other here. All 4 of the Young Motorsports cars represented here in the All-Star race. Bolin, Bishop, and Young, Bolin and Bishop rather, locked in with wins last season. Goss and Young locked in with wins this season. And all 4 of them are running inside of the top 10 right now. Justin Bolin leading this race, and then Bishop, Goss, Young, 8th, 9th, 10th. Zachary Fitzwater, a winner from Mid-Ohio earlier on this season, right now holding down the 7th position. He is the only entry, I believe. Yeah, the only entry out of Evans Motorsports in the field. We saw Zach Rogers, Rob Evans in the All-Star Open. Neither one managed to qualify their way in. Laura Chung right now holding in the 6th position. Now Fitzwater looks to battle for that spot. Lord Chung, Watkins Glen winner last year. First career victory for her. Was in the Final Four to compete for the championship last season. Her teammate Ryan Butcher also in this field, so 2 entries out of the Auto Junction Racing stable. As up at the front, it still continues to be Destin Bolin, Dylan Pote, Quentin Moore, with Nick Gunther and Caleb Fogler not that terribly far behind in a tussle for 4th place. See different drivers running different lines here. Atlanta Super Speedway does in some respects race like a super speedway, but as the tires start to wear down, it ends up taking on the speedway type aspect, and you'll see drivers kind of straddling different lanes, trying to get clean air to the nose, get that turning capability through the center of the corner. Field is spread out quite a bit here as well. You've got pack of 3, as now Quentin Moore looked like he might have had to bail out of the throttle on the entry of turn number 3 there. He might lose touch with the top 2. You have Nick Gunther, Caleb Fogler together, and then you got a gap back here to Chung and Fitzwater, Bishop, Dylan Young, Kyle Matthews. There's Levi McIntyre. Levi with a win earlier on this season at Pocono to lock himself into this all-star race. Been having a good year. Was up and tied at the top 10 pretty consistently, but now he's hovering around between 10th and 15th in overall points, still in a wild card spot. The driver's trying to get into a wild card spot, a former winner on the year, Kyler Sustre. Who would have thought that in this all-star race we'd have had 2 non-charter drivers that have locked themselves in via victories? Kyler Sustre with his win at Las Vegas, and Matthew Rodriguez also in this field. 2-time winner with the victories at Daytona, the 500, and Indianapolis. I think we might have some pit stops going on here. Maybe not. I was going to say it'd be a little bit early if we were. I thought that Mitchell Collins looked like he was starting to slow on the inside line, but I think that's just a case of not being able to drive it in as deep as he would like to with these tires wearing down. I mean, we're already seeing about a 1.5 seconds fall off on the tires with the speeds they're carrying. Now I think we got some drivers potentially pitting. RJ Bishop and Kyle Matthews look like they might have been pretty low there into 3. No, they're still not pitting. Okay, just running a slightly different line there. Going into the 3rd corner as this is the battle for 3rd. Nick Gunther has reeled in Quentin Moore. Pulled away a bit from Caleb Fogler as Moore lost touch with Destin Bolin and Dylan Pote. Question's going to be here between the 12 and the 31. Those two have been running nose to tail since the start of this race. Do they come to pit road on the same lap? Does Dylan Pote try and catch Destin Bolin out, pit a lap earlier, and take advantage of the fresh tires on the out lap? Can Destin Bolin maybe be the first one on pit road and catch out Dylan Pote? It's interesting because I was kind of watching these guys in the All-Star Open. I was trying to figure out in my head, what is the advantage? Which do you want to do? Do you want to be the first one to pit road and have the out lap first, or do you want to be the second one to pit road and have the freshest tires for the long run? And honestly, I don't think either one is the true advantage. I think that what you want to do is you want to come down pit road unhindered. So in the case of right now for the 12 and the 31, if they both came to pit road on separate laps, I don't think one would necessarily get an advantage over the other, so long as they had ease of access out of their pit stalls. They'll have ease of access coming onto pit road. There'll be nobody in front of them to hinder them to carry as much speed as they can to the commitment line, and then of course to make their way down pit road into their pit stall. It's coming out of pit road if other drivers further back are coming down pit lane. They'll be coming in later, and if the pit stall is anywhere near where they are, then they could be in trouble. Now granted, I believe, yeah, both of these drivers started this race on the front row, so they would have the number 1 and 2 pit stalls. Naturally, it should follow they should have an easy access off of pit lane, but that's not always the case. We got one car on pit road. That was Matthew Rodriguez leapfrogging everybody. Now we got more coming down pit road. Quentin Moore, Nick Gunther, Levi McIntyre, Kyler Sustre, RJ Bishop, Daniel Voiles, and others. So, the pit stop cycle begins. Let's see what the leaders will do. Looks like Boland's coming in this time. Poteet's going to follow him. Caleb Fogler's coming in. Looks like most everybody back here is going to come down pit road, including our All-Star Open winner Cody Lamas. Nobody else is going to roll the dice and stay out an extra lap. Interesting. Everybody's going to come down pit road here on lap 28 going on to 29. Matthew Rodriguez was the first one onto pit lane. We'll see where he cycles around to. He's got to unlap himself first, I do believe, which he will do right here, crossing the start-finish line. Let's see if we can find Destin Boland and Dylan Poteet. They're just now leaving pit road, I do believe. Oh, wow, right on each other's bumpers. Poteet almost was able to maybe win the battle off pit road against the 12. Those two will come out nose to tail. There's Quentin Moore. Look at the benefit of that outlap for the 89. He's going to reel in the top two. Does he have something, enough momentum, enough heat in those tires to be able to maybe make a move, get up there to the race lead? Doesn't look like it yet, but remember, he had lost touch with the top two, took the advantage of the green flag pit stop to reel them back in. Caleb Fogler leapfrogged Nick Gunther. Now he's up to 4th, Gunther back to 5th, and Levi McIntyre also passed a lot of cars with that pit stop. He's now up into the 6th position, and he's got 5th place in his sights. Kyler Sustre is now in the 7th spot. 8th place is Will Goss, 9th Laura Chung, 10th Dylan Young, and now Cody Lamas. Pit road played a big factor into him being able to win the All-Star Open earlier on today, and he utilized pit road again to move his way into, I believe, the 10th position. So we're waiting for scoring to update itself. How about the defending winner of this race too, Charles Sanford, now up here? He's in, I believe, 11th. We're going to wait for scoring to update itself to make certain. Scoring has him in 12th right now, and that is where he stays. Daniel Voiles right now in 13th, RJ Bishop in 14th in this group. Then a ways back to another pack, 15th place being Matt Haas. And he's got Zachary Fitzwater, Austin LaPlante, Anthony McCurry, and a former All-Star Race winner Cole Deaver right there with him. Michael Norman right now in the 21st position with Reese Banks, Ryan Butcher, Connor Breton. Jose Mills right now in 24th. Casey Hoyt all the way back in 25th. Mitchell Collins is 26th. Shelton 27th. Kyle Matthews 28th. And then here's the battle for 29th, 30th. Keith Batson and Matthew Rodriguez. Those two are exiting out of turn number 2. The leaders are heading into turn number 1. So they are almost 3/4 of a lap down right now, as Dylan Poteet takes the lead with the move on the inside against Destin Boland. Boland led 31 laps to start off this race. Dylan Poteet has led the last 3. Destin going to try and get him back here. Crosses him over through 3 and 4. Drag race to the line. Who's going to lead this lap? Ooh, that was close. Scoring says it was Poteet, but look at this. This side-by-side battling has brought Levi McIntyre and Nick Gunther into the conversation. And McIntyre is going to blow the doors off of 3 different cars and move from 5th up to 2nd, and he wants more, looking for the lead on Dylan Poteet. And he's going to take it on the inside through 3 and 4. That says that this Cheez-It Ford Mustang is a strong piece if he was able to do that on the bottom over in 3 and 4. Well, Ford has 3 victories in the All-Star race. Chevrolet has 3. Bear in mind, for a time too, Levi McIntyre actually drove for Blue Oval Automotive in his career before eventually making the jump over to the single car team as owner-driver at Shadow Cult Racing. He would love to add an all-star race win into his resume in what's already been, as we've documented, a career year for that team. After all that, Poteet cycles into second, Quentin Moore to third, Nick Gunther to fourth, and Destin Bolin, who's led the most laps today after starting from the pole, is cycled back to fifth. And look at how everything is closed up. All of a sudden, Caleb Fogler's up here. Kyler Sustre, Laura Chung, Dylan Young's trying to catch up here. It was a 3-horse race, which then turned into a 2-horse race, really, for the race leading the early going, and the pit stop cycle has completely changed things up. Caleb Fogler for the 5th position on Destin Bolin. Little drafting help there from Kyler Sustre as Bolin almost went a little too high there, nearly brushed the wall. The bright green, Quaker State green wall. But he'll utilize the outside line through 3 and 4 to swing back around, keep the 5th position. Battle here for 2nd. Nick Gunther's going to take it, at least for the moment. Poteet will battle back on the top side, though. Teammate versus teammate. Poteet will get the advantage down the backstretch. Now, one thing we have never had in the... caution's out, I believe. So I'll get to that point in a minute. Yeah, I think the yellow flag might be out. And indeed it is. First time today on lap 40. This changes up a lot too, because I don't know if these drivers are in the fuel window to make it the rest of the way. They'd be close though. Remember, most of the field came down pit road on lap 29. And this next time around at the start-finish line, it would be 29 laps to go. And I think everybody is thinking the same thing. Come to pit road, top off the fuel tank, get it full of fuel right now, and then hope you got enough to make it to the end. Maybe save a little bit here under pacing. Oh, well, that's what I get for thinking thoughts. The commentator's curse. I didn't say it, but I thought it. I was going to say we've never had, in the Duracell Cup Series, the All-Star Open winner win the All-Star race, and Cody Lamas, our All-Star Open winner, appears to be the reason for this caution. Let's try and find out what happened to the 84. I didn't see any smoke. So I'm not necessarily certain where the incident was. Looks like it was over in 3 and 4, and oh my gosh. How I didn't see this, I'm not sure. Cody gonna try the outside of Kyler Sustre, and he gets into the right rear. And look at that, oh my gosh. The outside wall grabs the 4, shoots him up in the air, and then flips over the Florida Panthers Chevrolet. Violent impact for both drivers. I mean, that was straight up into the wall for Kyler Sustre. Watch this again. Cody drives it in deep into the right rear, hooks the 4, and wow. How Charles Samper and Daniel Voiles got through that without any damage, I'm not sure, because that was literally right in their lap. Let's find out just how close it was. On board with the defending champion and the defending winner of this race. Wow. That is crazy. We'll give you one more look at it here with another angle. Boy, tough break there for Cody Lamas. Had utilized the pit road strategy to get up inside of the top 10. Wow. That I'm shocked not only at the impact, but also at the fact there was only 2 drivers involved. Because we had a lot of other drivers that could have easily been innocent bystanders in that, gotten bits and pieces, and somehow they didn't. Violent impact there for a couple of Chevrolet Camaros. The good news for both of them is the fact that it is a non-points event. Cody Lamas been having a great season, but still looking for that first victory up there, hovering around the top 10 in points. Kyler Sustre does have the victory, but he's trying to make his way into the top 30 in points. Both of those teams, they've got their assignments for the second half of the regular season to try and lock themselves into a spot in this season's playoffs. But everybody was on pit road. Everyone took on, I believe, right sides only, at least for the front runners. They wouldn't have had to take 4 tires necessarily in order to get the tank full of fuel, since they had all been to pit road about 10 laps prior. And Levi McIntyre maintained the lead here for this upcoming restart. Levi has led the last 6 laps. Dylan Poteet has led 5. Destin Bolin has led 31. Your 3 race leaders all running right now inside of the top 3. Quentin Moore in 4th. Dylan Young's now up to 5th. 6th place Laura Chung. Will Goss in 7th. Nick Gunther 8th. Austin LaPlante and Caleb Fogler are the completion of the top 10. This caution a big break for a number of drivers. We saw how the field got spread out after the cycle of green flag pit stops. You look at a couple of drivers like Keith Batson and Matthew Rodriguez, who were nearly a lap down. They were about 9/10 of a lap down. They're going to be caught up here. I don't think they necessarily, since we've seen what track position means here, I don't think they're necessarily going to be in the conversation for the win, but their positioning can certainly improve now, since the gap between them and their nearest competitors has closed up significantly. Also, a little curious on the 33, Mitchell Collins. He had a bit of an extended stay on pit road. Not certain what exactly happened with him, but he is at the tail end of the field in 28th. The remaining 28 drivers all on the lead lap. 2 drivers out of the race after the incident. The 2 involved, Kyler Sustre, Cody Lamas. And we're going to get the restart here with 26 laps to go. So that should be within the fuel window to make it the rest of the way. Pit road should no longer be a factor. They should have enough fuel to make it, especially if they saved here under these pacing laps. Levi McIntyre ready to get us back underway here in the All-Star race. Up through the gears there. And we're going to see drivers take the opportunity here on these semi-fresh tires, making moves to try and gain even 1 or 2 positions. Dylan Poteet trying the bottom here against Levi McIntyre. Can he clear him? He's got to clear him because McIntyre will thunder back on that top side there through 3 and 4. He's got him cleared, it looks like. Levi way up the track, almost into the wall there. Destin Bolin was all over his left rear quarter panel, but Poteet will take the top spot. McIntyre trying to figure out which lane to choose. He'll go up into the outside line there. Middle groove right behind Poteet. Stacks up Destin Bolin almost into the front bumper of his teammate Dylan Young. Young will swing around Nick Gunther and move up into the 4th position. His teammate Will Goss follows into 5th. Now you got Young Motorsports 3rd, 4th, 5th. Can they work together against Levi McIntyre and Dylan Poteet and get a Young Motorsports driver into victory lane? Car in the wall back there, that was Cole Deaver off of turn 2. Right in front of RJ Bishop. Looks like they've got it settled out back there though, as now teammates will battle side by side for 3rd. Dylan Young jumped up to the outside of Destin Bolin, and he'll move into the 3rd spot. Dylan Young looking good here in the latter stages as McIntyre showed the nose to the inside of Dylan Poteet. Nothing doing this time through 1 and 2. Might have been trying to get clean air to the nose, but that now brings Dylan Young into the conversation. McIntyre, can he block the top? Looks like he was able to check up Dylan Young just a little bit there to hold on to 2nd place. Will Goss, that helped him on the bottom. He's going to clear Dylan Young and move into the 3rd spot. And Austin LaPlante transferring from the All-Star Open. Finished 2nd in the All-Star Open, and he is going to try and move into 4th place here against Dylan Young. Nothing doing as they're all stacked up. The other transferee that's still in this race, Anthony McCrory, now trying to break into the top 10 in that number 61. Nick Gunther moves into 5th place. Caleb Fogler will swing around LaPlante for 6th. Destin Bolin up on that outside line there as well. McCrory, Quentin Moore. Deaver, who we saw on the wall just a couple laps ago, looks like no harm, no foul. He's still up to speed and trying to break into the top 10. Nick Gunther going to get to the outside of Dylan Young, who I think was trying to make a move on Will Goss. Goss is going to try and make a move on Levi McIntyre. But every time you move to that inside line, if you don't complete the pass, then you're trapped by the other driver behind you that's got the momentum on the top side. Goss saw that. He knew he wasn't going to be able to complete the pass on McIntyre. Made sure to bail out of that and go back on the defensive to not allow Nick Gunther to snipe the 3rd position away. McIntyre, ooh, trying to get a little bit of side draft off the left rear quarter panel. Poteet just going to pinch him down there. Going into 3. McIntyre did a nice job staying in the throttle there, though. He might stay alongside of Poteet down the front straightaway. If he doesn't, though, Goss is there to capitalize, and Will is there. Poteet moves down, puts some dirty air on the nose of the 99. Dylan Poteet doing a good job here in controlling the draft, controlling the run. But he's been doing it against Levi McIntyre. Now he's going to have to do it against another driver. This time it's going to be Will Goss. You guys will have seen it courtesy of the NNSCRA split cam, but tough break there for Reese Banks. 2nd full-time season for him out of Lake Effect Auto Sport. Looks like he had an engine failure. And he is retired out of this race in the 28th position. Joining Kyler Sustry and Cody Lamas back behind the wall. So Reese Banks will not see the conclusion as Goss and Poteet will battle it out for the top position. Look at some of these players up here late now that weren't here in the beginning. Anthony McCrory now battling up inside the top 5. There's Michael Norman in the 22. Michael had 2 victories last season during the playoffs, 3 victories after the All-Star race that locked him into this All-Star race. And right now he's battling the 8th position. Cole Deaver back here. Matthew Rodriguez. Remember we said that caution was a big break for him and Keith Batson? Well, Matt Rod's now up in the top 15. Right behind one of the former All-Star race winners in Cole Deaver. Things are super stacked up here, too. I thought for a moment we might be under caution. These drivers were going so slow, but I think there's just nowhere for them to go. They're all boxed in. As back up towards the front, it is still Dylan Poteet out in front. After starting the outside of the front row, he'll see 15 to go this next time by at the line. A couple of Fords duking it out for 3rd place as Fogler got around Levi McIntyre. Look at this. Everybody anticipating everybody. LaPlante, McCrory, and Gunther all went down to the inside line there heading for turn 3. And it didn't really work out for any of them. McCrory and Gunther both had to bail out of the throttle. LaPlante was able to stay at least in contact with Levi McIntyre. As Fogler now on the inside line. That's not where he wants to be. He's going to get caught out. McIntyre passes him. LaPlante, McCrory all swing around his outside, as does Michael Norman. McIntyre looking for 2nd on Will Goss. That's not going to work. LaPlante might be able to get a run on him for 3rd with a run off of turn 4. McIntyre tried to move up, but I think that LaPlante is there to his right rear. He is. So that'll be the ongoing battle for 3rd place as Will Goss is right there on the back bumper of Poteet. Does he make a move or does he try and fake Poteet into a mistake? This is the first full-time season for Will Goss. He's run a part-time schedule back in season 4 as a non-charter driver for then TCW Racing. Of course, ended up winning the Showcase Championship in the 5 Showcase races last season. Signed a full-time deal with Young Motorsports. Currently top 10 in the first 13 races overall in the standings and has a victory at North Wilkesboro. Currently looking to be in a playoff position as a rookie, which would be the 2nd straight season if Will Goss is able to close out the deal and clinch a spot in the playoffs that Young Motorsports has fielded a playoff contender with rookie stripes. Destin Bolin did it last year. Michael Norman continuing to work his way up through the field. He's now into the 4th spot on the back bumper of Austin LaPlante. You had to know LaPlante, McCrory. We saw Cody Lamas before his unfortunate demise that they were going to be up here towards the front, having had those extra 40 laps of experience with the All-Star Open earlier on today. And right now, LaPlante is in third, McCrory is in fifth. The experience they gain, though, will it be enough for them to get up here and maybe take the race, lead the race, win away from Dylan Poteet, who, ever since that restart, has had a stranglehold on the top position, has kept everybody at bay, put the defensive moves on Levi McIntyre, has been able to keep Will Goss in his rearview mirror. And next time by, he'll have 10 more circuits still to go here at this mile and a half. There's also that question about fuel. I'm pretty certain these drivers can make it. We went back green with about 26, 25 laps to go, which is about +4, +3 on the fuel window of what these drivers would have been able to make, especially if they were able to save under the pacing laps. But there's always that chance that someone didn't get it completely full of fuel in order to try and keep their track position. By McIntyre, going to get passed by a few cars here as he got stuck on that inside line. RJ Bishop now up into the top 5. We saw a number of entries out of the Bishop Family Racing stable earlier on tonight in the All-Star Open with Mike Tellier in the 17, Autumn Brooks in the 60, Seth Cole in the 6. Some pretty good showing for those drivers as well. Now RJ Bishop, the owner of the team here, driver for Young Motorsports. In a good tussle with LaPlante, McIntyre, and McCrory for the final spots inside of the top 5. Ryan Butcher is also starting to close up into this group there. Highest running Toyota Camry in the 6th position, 7th position. And trying to finish this thing out with a top 5 as laps continue to tick away. Will Goss shows no signs of wanting to pass Dylan Poteet right now. I'm wondering if Will is of the assumption the 31 being out in front, using up the most fuel, maybe wouldn't be able to make it. And Will could be saving right now. If indeed the numbers are as close as we are speculating. RJ Bishop's not waiting though. He's going to jump to the outside of his teammate. Not going to be able to get the run here off of turn 4 though. Young Motorsports has looked good here tonight. Will Goss looked good. Destin Bolin started in the pole and led 31 laps. Dylan Young was up inside the top 10. RJ Bishop now here up in the 3rd spot. That organization's looking really good, and overall that team has started to look really good as an organization. Will with a victory, Dylan Young with a victory, Destin Bolin hovering outside in the top 10 points. RJ Bishop starting to put some good runs together. Look at that. Will Goss, I think, got a little bit loose off of turn 4. RJ Bishop looked to take advantage of the momentum, but then he had to lift through the tri-oval, and that brings Michael Norman around his outside. Zachary Fitzwater in the 66 has now entered up into this conversation for a top 5. And just outside of that lead pack is Charles Sanford, the defending winner, but I don't think he's got enough time to come up here and be a back-to-back All-Star race winner, because it'll be 5 to go this time by. Will Goss is starting to experiment, and I might have experimented a little too high there, may have overstepped the cushion. Levi McIntyre gets to his inside. That's the battle for second place, and Poteet's got to be loving that. Poteet's got to figure out which lane to block. Will Goss, wow, look how high he is. Almost rubbing the outside wall as he takes that momentum down to the bottom going into turn 3. It's not going to work for him, though. Michael Norman's going to get alongside of him for second place, and that outside line should get the advantage. Nope, Will's able to keep in touch with him. Oh, he had to lift right there, though, in preparation for the little left-hand turn on the front straightaway. So Norman will move into second. RJ Bishop trying to move to third. Look at McCrory trying to shoot the gap there. 3 wide for 4th. He'll get to the inside of Bishop for 3rd place. Now it's Michael Norman who's on the back bumper of Dylan Poteet. Another new player for the 31 to have to defend against. But Poteet's done a great job of controlling the draft here ever since he got out in front. 3 laps to go here in the All-Star race. But look at the run Michael got down the front straightaway. And he's going to try and take the momentum down to the inside there into turn 1. It's not going to work for him. RJ Bishop, look at the run he gets out of turn 2. Does he stay behind Poteet and try and catch him on the outside, or does he go to the inside? He's going to show the nose to the bottom. Nobody's really been able to make the inside line stick outside of Levi McIntyre, and that was about 20 laps ago. Now Will Goss moves back into second place. LaPlante moves into third. Charles Sampras now up to 4th. I thought he didn't have a shot, but maybe he does. 2 to go, and he's up inside of the top 5. Defending champion, defending all-star race winner. Dylan Poteet just running whatever line he wants to run, forcing everybody else to do something different. Will Goss, he's been behind Poteet for a number of laps here on the latter portion of this run, looking to move up the track there. Trying to get that run off of turn 4. Wasn't able to get much of a run there as the white flag was displayed for Dylan Poteet. 1 more lap to go for the 31. Goss, about a half groove lower, trying to get some clean air to the nose. He opens up the top for LaPlante to maybe get alongside of him for second. Goss trying to move up and block, not going to be able to do so. I think he might be clear on LaPlante this time. As off turn 4 for the final time, Dylan Poteet will lead 31 laps here today for the 31 car, and he is the winner of the Season 7 Duracell Cup Series All-Star Race from the Atlanta Superspeedway. The career year for Dylan Poteet out of Fortnite Squad Racing continues. Just a couple weeks ago, he picked up the victory at the historic Darlington Raceway, moved up to 3rd in overall points, and now he is a Duracell Cup Series All-Star Race winner. That'll be the 4th All-Star race for the Chevrolet manufacturer, and boy, as if this team need any more good momentum heading into the second half of the regular season, they found it here today with an all-star race checkered flag. First win for the Fortnite Squad Racing organization in the all-star race as well. And Dylan Poteet, who started up front, stayed up front all day long. And he will pick up the victory. Well done to him. Let's take a look at the full finishing results from this one. Again, no points on the line, no championship implications. It was all whoever ended up winning the race was going to be the all-star race winner, and then everybody else basically can use this experience if we ever come back here to Atlanta Superspeedway for the next all-star race. I guarantee you it will not be a regular season race. Not enough of a fan of that this track for it to be something like that. But Austin LaPlante, how about that? Great run for LaPlante. What a great weekend this has been for him. Qualified his way into this all-star race, finishing 2nd in the All-Star Open. He started this race from the 29th position and worked his way all the way up into 2nd place yet again. I guarantee you he had to pass a lot more cars here in this All-Star race than he did in the All-Star Open. Will Goss brings it home with a great showing of 3rd. Charles Sanford charged up late to finish in 4th. And Daniel Voiles also had a late race charge to finish inside of the top 5. Levi McIntyre brought it home in 6th. Ryan Butcher in 7th. Destin Bolin, who led 31 laps today as well, so they actually tied. He and Poteet for most laps led in this All-Star race. He gets 8th. Jose Mills, a former All-Star race winner, brought it home in 9th, and Anthony McCurry drifted back to finish in the 10th position. Caleb Fogel and RJ Bishop also fell back late, finishing in 11th and 12th. Zachary Fitzwater was 13th, Casey Hoyt 14th. Michael Norman also fell back late, as he'll finish in 15th. Nick Gunther, Matt Haas, Laura Chung, Jessica Shelton, Dylan Young were your top 20. The rest of the drivers to finish this race were Kyle Matthews, Cole Deaver, Matthew Rodriguez, Connor Breton, Keith Batson, Mitchell Collins, and Quentin Moore. 27 drivers reached the conclusion. Mechanical problem for Reese Banks took him out early, and then Kyler Sustry, Cody Lamas bringing out the only caution of the day. They retired after a horrible crash over in turn 3, finishing in 29th and 30th position. But a good one here tonight at the Atlanta Superspeedway for this All-Star Race weekend. Cody Lamas, the All-Star Open winner. Dylan Poteet, the All-Star Race winner. And got some good momentum heading into the second half of the regular season, which next week we will be at another 1.5 mile racetrack. It's the longest race of the season. It's the final of the Crown Jewel races here for Season 7 of the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series, as we are at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Coke 600. Be sure to join us for that. We're going to have qualifying on Saturday. The race will take place on Sunday, and hope that you will join us for that. If you enjoyed this All-Star Race weekend here, though, hope that you guys give this video a like and subscribe to become part of the crew today. We showed you your full finish results. There are no point stands. This is a non-points race, but we'll see you guys next week at the Charlotte Motor Speedway as we continue on the 7th season of the NNSCRA Duracell Next Gen Cup Series. We enter now into the chase, towards the chase for the championship portion of the season, and we cannot wait to see what unfolds. But until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV. offline racing at its best.